Well, let's bring in Fox News senior strategic analyst, General Jack Keane. General, size this up for us. We're starting off this week. They're having discussions in Geneva. That started last night, and that will continue through the week. What do you make of it?
Well, first of all, as indicated, there's a lot of separation here on these issues, to be sure. But there is a possibility that there could be an agreement. And here's what would have to happen for certain for that to take place, is the French and the Germans would have to absolutely be on the same page with the Americans. And they have been softer on Russia. After all, it was the Germans that initiated the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. It became so controversial to Europeans and the United States. And Macron in France has also taken softer positions. If they're on the same page with the Americans and they're willing to impose these significant international economic sanctions on Russia, and also willing to put additional troops into NATO countries as a result of an invasion, plus some other things that the United States has put on the table, then Putin may be convinced that this cost is too great. He is seeking an opportunity here, Dana, based on what he sees as weakness. Weakness because of the political and social divisions in Europe and in the United States, and weakness in what he perceives in the White House as a result of the Afghanistan decision. Certainly, he was here in the spring with 70, 80,000 troops. He's back with 110,000 in the fall. And what happened in between? The withdrawal and the debacle of Afghanistan. I think Putin sees opportunity here. We've got to stand up to him. It's our resolve and determination that will be on the table, which Putin will be looking at closely.
Can I ask you then, this uprising in Kazakhstan, which has now they've called Russian troops in to help them quell that uprising, do you think that makes Putin more or less likely to want to flex some muscle in Ukraine?
Well, I think it adds to his credibility, because what happened, and remember, Ukraine, what happened there is the people threw out his stooge. The government of Yanukovych just literally ran him out of the country. And what happened in Belarus? Putin put forces into Belarus after the people were on the streets trying to run that dictator out as a result of a lousy election also. And here we have a similar issue in Kazakhstan. And what Putin is going to do is always support the government in place, which are largely stooges for him, against the people, and clear those streets, even if it takes a lot of violence. I think it adds to his credibility that he's going to continue to put pressure on Ukraine.
Okay, well, we will pay attention to all of it. I'm sure we'll see a lot of you this week as it moves along. Thank you, General.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.